What's up, y'all? This is BP.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Star Child.
It's your boy, Kid Dream. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Gamer Credits. This is going to be Season 3, Level 7. Let's introduce the players. Player 1, BP.
Kid Dream, what's good, man?
Oh, man, just staying warm, man. Trying to stay warm anyway.
I was about to say, man, it's so cold out here, man. It's ridiculous, dude. I don't know what's going on.
Winter's coming, as they say. Winter is coming.
I feel like it's definitely already here, but you're right.
Oh, man. No claps this time? No applause, by the way?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I forgot about that. I was in a whole different section.
I'm not sure why that was a reminder that we needed. We don't need those claps. We're good. We're good.
No, we can do it.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, we definitely need that.
There we go.
Yeah, I need that for my soul.
There you go. Exactly. Then, of course, we have player 2, Star Child.
How's it going, everybody? What's been new?
There they go.
Yeah.
There they go. I was waiting on them.
Yeah, the audience is a little asleep. They're delayed today, but it's okay. It's okay.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. So.
Hey, man, I just want to tease y'all about this so-called cold weather. It was basically 54 degrees today.
So-called cold weather. You sound like a northerner, man. That's exactly what
I don't like the cold either. I'm just saying, I don't like the cold. It felt cold today, but it's not one of those things you want to complain about until it's in the 30s, man.
Hold on.
Hey, it started at 29.
Yeah, I was going to say, just because it got up to the 50s don't mean it didn't start in the 20s.
Yeah,
hold on. Don't forget about that.
It started in the 30s.
Some of us wake up early to go to work in the morning when it was 20 degrees, not 50 degrees.
Hey, man. Hold on. When was it 20 degrees? Because I missed that day.
First thing this morning.
It was 20 degrees? Where are you at?
29. It was 29.
Yeah.
Hey, my phone was telling me when I woke up it was on 34 degrees, so that's interesting. But we are in different zones.
Well, you do have an iPhone, so I mean,
Oh shoot! You about to have some hate calls coming through.
I mean, it is what it is. Come at me. I don't care.
Hey, man.
But yeah, it was definitely 29, sir. Definitely 29, man.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man, like you kind of triggered me a little bit with that because I'm like, I could just remember like every time I would complain, like, let's say it's 32 degrees outside, I say it at work, and some northerner always had to come around, man. Oh, man, you don't know what it's like, what it's really like to be cold, like up in New York, you get da-da-da, or up in, like, I don't know, Wisconsin or whatever, da-da-da. And I'm just like, well, hey, who chose to move there or live there? That ain't my problem. I'm joking.
Hey, I can agree with you if that was a choice. Some of us was born.
I know, it's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah, I forget we're in this climate now where you can't joke like that, so my bad.
No, you can always joke like that.
Till you get backlash, and then you're like, what the hell just happened? I thought I was being funny, but apparently not.
You turn that into a joke. That's all you do, man.
True.
Life give you lemons, you make what?
Oh, boy. Anyway, player...
This kind of went off the rails, but okay.
Player 3, it's your boy, Kid Dream.
Yay. Oh, let's get the claps in there. Come on. Yep. Come on, guys.
I was about to say, where's my claps at? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. We got it. No worry.
Yeah.
Hey, before we start, though, how was everybody's Thanksgiving?
It was a good Thanksgiving. I feel like, all right, so not to be this Debbie Downer, and I won't add too much to this. And doesn't it feel like, the more we get to learn about history, the more we get to learn about, how traditions are started, we should start creating newer type of traditions built off of better circumstances. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm getting to this awareness now to certain holidays. Again, don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but I just feel like it's not. I am, but it's just not what it used to be. The more you become aware of things, so
I'll tell you what works for me. Because unfortunately, if you look at pretty much almost any holiday, it's going to come from a really tragic or really bad background.
Change our holidays.
My opinion, personally, I look at them not as what they were, but what they are now and what they are to me. So to me, Thanksgiving isn't what it was back in the day and all the things that happened, but it's a time to get together with my family and spend time with each other and quote unquote, say what you're thankful for, blah, blah, blah. But just to spend time with my family and get together. At least that's a guaranteed day. I know I'm going to get together with my family and see them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I just feel like that should be set to a different day so that we can remember the actual Thanksgiving event for what it was. So not trying to write history again. So that's my only issue. But I get it. Yeah, being with family, nothing takes away from that.
actually, I need to make a small edit. I meant to say Happy Turkey Day. How was everybody's Turkey Day?
There you go. See, that might
Yeah,
have
that's
triggered
what I
me.
meant.
So happy
Yeah,
turkey
yeah,
day. There
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah. I was slipping. You caught me slipping. So, but yeah. So okay. Well, I mean, as long as everybody's Turkey Day went pretty well, then I guess that's good. Good
Yeah.
enough for
How
me.
was yours?
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Really not much to talk about. Just had fun time with the family, just hanging out and everything. I semi was looking a little bit forward to Black Friday, but turns out it kind of sucked this year. At least I think. I don't know
Yeah.
how y'all felt about it, but yeah, didn't really find much of anything out there at all. So
No,
Yeah.
Amazon did not do a good job. Sorry, Amazon. You
no,
want to donate to us? Anything? I'm not talking bad.
Donate.
this
Nah, it was all around pretty terrible this year, Black Friday
especially for
and Cyber
games too,
Monday.
because usually they're really good with games. That's my main thing. It's like, hey, what can I get that I haven't gotten yet? But I think I got
Yeah.
snagged up God of War, and that was about it.
It's a great pickup. It's a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
pickup.
So I was like, there's that. So
Yeah.
anyway, my bad.
You're
Moving on.
fine. So before we get into it, any gaming moments of the week?
Star, you got anything?
Of course not.
Oh man, I thought you would have had something, man. Well, okay, let me help you out. What are your thoughts so far in the newest Destiny season release? I think Season of the Wish is what it's called. Yeah.
Oh, that one, the one where I didn't pay for the expansion packs for the last time I had to purchase through Bungie, so now I had to spend $10 just now in silver to get this
Oof.
one just to play. I feel
Oh,
amazing about this game. It's like,
All right.
yeah, being forced to play a game that was already purchased. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, my sarcasm can keep going, but I will digress. So,
All right.
how about you, VP
well,
and Kid?
So, yeah, I actually played Sifu. Actually, I don't think it was technically this week, but last week. But anyway, so I've gotten to that for the first time. And you ever play a game that kind of misleads you in the beginning, thinking like, hey, this is gonna be a pretty cool game. You need to learn a couple of the mechanics, and you're like thinking you're like invincible and stuff, and then you get a little bit into it, and you're like,
Mhm.
oh damn, like this is real. It's real out here. So yeah, that definitely happened big time in that game. I
Mm.
do like the concept and the fighting style of it, but it definitely not that it should hold your hand, but it definitely doesn't. Not only does it not hold your hand, but it just basically leaves you in the middle of nowhere, like for dead, and then just takes off in a car.
So
It's like
technically, it's one of those games that you can get good at, or you saying this game was just like too
no,
what's the word, difficult?
I'm pretty sure there's like maybe 5 people out there in the world that could be very good at it and crush
Mm.
it. Problem. I'm just joking. It's probably more than that. But anyway, it's very. I think, but the way it's designed, I think very few people would probably be at that level. So unless they kind of go online to look at those people who can do really well and have the great strong strategies for it. But at least from what I played, I mean, and it's not like I'm terrible at it, but it's just I take issue with games that are number one, they don't really kind of I don't want to say prepare you because I don't want it to hold my hand, but it's like at least kind of let you know of certain things to be ready for it.
Mm.
Uh, Instead of like, well, it's just something that you have to die like 100 times and before you figure it out. So it's but anyway, I don't want to make it sound like I'm complaining because I think at the end of the day, I'm still going to go back and play it just because I'm
Nice,
stubborn.
nice.
But
It
yeah, it's
helps
just
you
kinda,
with the challenge so that you don't feel like, you already did that one time, never have to do it again. No, you feel like you want to get better at it. So that might be their
yeah,
strategy. Oh, maybe
yeah.
not.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm just getting old, man. So like the young me would have been like, you know what, I'm angry, upset about this, but I'm gonna conquer it. Like no matter
Mm.
what, I'm gonna get it. Nowadays, I'm just like, what else is on? What else can I do?
I
That's
get that.
understandable. It's
Yeah,
understandable.
so yeah,
Okay.
but
Well,
I'll keep you posted.
cool. All right, kid. What about you?
Speaking of getting good, I actually have been playing Elden Ring with one of my friends. We've kind of been going through the game because he's actually beaten the game before. I have not, because I'm not the best at those games.
Mm.
But kind of wanted to play it because I've seen some of the boss designs and encounters, and it looks really fun. So what we did, there is a mod called like the Seamless Co-op mod. I think that's what it's called. Basically, what it does is it gets rid of the ridiculous co-op system in default Elden Ring and base Elden
Mhm.
Ring, and it makes it pretty much seamless. So what you can do is you can summon your friend right from the jump, and basically they're like another player in your world instead of acting like a summon. So you both of you can mount up, you can rest at the grace sites, you can both level up. Um, your own character and everything like that in like boss fights. If even if I'm the host, if I die, as long as he's still alive, the fight is still going. It's not like in default Elden Ring when the host dies, the fight's over and the co-op player gets sent back to their game. So it makes the game a lot more fun because I'm gonna be honest, the co-op mechanics in the Souls games have been pretty terrible. And just outdated. And I think it's time that they just add a co-op setting and just allow you to play the game with a friend from the jump with no problems. This whole summoning system, and after you defeat a boss, the co-op player is sent back to their world. It's just dumb and aggravating, and I don't see how that makes the game more fun. You know?
Yeah, I
Well, but
agree.
I mean, to be fair, are those games really designed for fun, or is it more designed for the challenge?
Well, and that's the thing. Even with this mod, bro, it's still a challenge. It's still a
Mm,
hard game. It doesn't like take anything away from the already designed bosses and mechanics and stuff like that. It makes it sure maybe a little bit easier. Because like I said, if I'm the host, if I die in base Elden Ring, game's over. But in this mod, as long as he survives, we could actually win the fight, and that's actually happened a couple of times. So in some aspects, it does make it a little bit easier, but it still has that challenge. It's still Elden Ring. You're still going to die a lot.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just curious because I was like, when you talked about it, and me thinking about them wanting to approach that to make it easier and easier experience, I was just kind of thinking in my mind, like, would they kind of be against that because it goes against their core uh, process of developing those types of games and what it's intended for? So that's what I was just thinking about.
So,
Yeah,
so it makes it easier just because you have a person that can help you. Because I would think that the game will actually level up to now being two players. But I'm thinking
Like
that's the
difficulty
mechanic.
adjustment.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
difficulty adjusted. So it doesn't do that at
Yeah.
all.
I
the
don't think.
mod. Yeah, the mod. No, from my understanding, it doesn't change any encounters with the game. It just allows you to have two people playing at the
Ah,
same
okay,
time
okay,
seamlessly.
okay.
But again, it's still a very challenging game. It's still not a cakewalk. It's still that default Elden Ring. It's still a very hard game. It's just, hey, after we defeat that boss, I don't have to go resummon my friend, which is just
Mhm.
tedious and aggravating. We just can continue to play the game. So it still keeps that challenge, which is why I really like the mod. It doesn't break the game and make it easy. You still have a challenging and engaging combat system and game, but then you also get the convenience of just having somebody in your game permanently.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
All
All right.
right, all
Maybe
right.
something for to consider in a future release or something.
Yeah, hopefully. They've always been weird, so we'll see.
Yeah. So
Um, so, actually not before. Sorry, guys. I think it's time. We finally. I think it's that time of year for the Game Awards.
Okay.
yeah, man. Countdown began a while ago, but now it's coming around now. Now it's like what, a
Yeah,
week away.
yeah. It is December 7th, which is the day of this recording. Next Thursday.
Not,
So
not far at all.
No,
yeah.
not at
So
all. Not at all. And I am very, very excited. So this is going to be our Game Awards special. Basically, the entire episode, we're going to kind of go over uh, what our predictions are for. It's only going to be certain categories. We're not going to go through every single category. Not all
yeah,
of it really kind of pertains to us, and it's things that we don't really have much insight into, and we don't want to just pick names out of a hat that we have no idea what they're even about. So we're going to limit it to the categories that we actually know a little bit about and can kind of speak on. But before we get to the nominations, right? The Game Award. One of the things I love about the Game Awards, as you can tell, I'm very excited about it. I think it's a great way to just come together as a gaming community to kind of celebrate this year's achievements and the games that have come out, and just to see certain companies and games get the praise that a lot of them deserve and everything like that. It's just a good time. But another reason I love it is because of all the announcements that come from it. It's kind of like, I know we don't really have E3 anymore, unfortunately, but it's kind of like an E3 where a lot of companies and studios will announce brand new projects and things like that. And so before we get into the nominations, I just wanted to see, what are you guys thinking we might see? What kind of predictions are you looking? What would you like to see get announced next week?
So, I mean, I know this one's going to be a long shot, but I wouldn't mind, like, whether it's more information or a surprise trailer of the new Ghost of Tsushima game coming out.
Oh,
Like, that's
yes.
something I definitely fantasize a lot about, just because that game was so amazing. And, just going into just being curious about what they're going to do for the direction of the new game or the sequel. So, yeah, that would be great
Yeah.
if that happens. So that's one of the things. So
Yes.
what about y'all? Like, what about you, Star?
Oh, well, we kind of discussed part of this, and I feel like I'm going to stay Nintendo, pro Nintendo, or the Nintendo cheerleader. I'm
I mean,
hoping that
what
they
else is new?
would, I mean, nothing new, but I'm hoping that Metro 4 might be announced.
Nice,
That would be
nice.
cool.
It's been years of teasing, and I think a lot of us now are getting a little bit tired of being teased. So
Yeah.
Nintendo, show us some gameplay. And of course, Rumorville has got me kind of interested in seeing what might happen for 2024 with Nintendo and hopefully a Switch 2. They may try to drop some hints with this current gaming awards. We'll see. And yeah, that's it for now, man. I just want Metroid to come out.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Hey.
Nintendo, get on it.
Get on it.
Yeah. Both
All
great
right, kid.
suggestions. And I definitely, I hope you're right about this, because you said Switch too, right? New Switch.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I said Switch 2, but we don't know what it might be. Nintendo might be going a whole nother direction, but hopefully not.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you on that one all the way. So what I would love to see, a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4.
Oh,
The
okay.
game was announced, a year or two ago at this point, and other than that one trailer, we've gotten basically very
Nothing.
little of anything else.
Mhm.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, I was like, I'm sorry. I actually totally forgot 3 came out.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, oh yeah,
I
there is
totally
a
forgot about
4.
that.
Yeah.
3, if you can believe it, came out, I think, 5 years ago at this point. If you can
After how
believe
many
No
years
wonder.
between 2
No
and 3?
wonder.
a lot of the years.
It was a long time. Yeah.
But keep in mind, there's other games that came out between 2 and 3. So
Yeah,
even
that's true.
though that 3 is the next main line game, there was a lot of other games that came out during that time period. But personally, yeah, I would love to see Kingdom Hearts 4, some kind of trailer, some kind of news. Realistically, though, what I really have a feeling we're going to see, guys,
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 6.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
If you remember, they said we would get our first trailer in December. What
Mhm.
better way to announce it or to show that trailer than the Game Awards? Like, that would be a pretty big show.
Yeah, that's why I think like that. Well, that's why I'm calling it a safe bet. I mean, I could be completely wrong, and please feel free to call me out if I am. But I think you're onto something with it, because they did again make it known that December was that time period, and again, it's the Game Awards. So whether you love or hate it, you have to acknowledge that it is a big event. And so, what better way to really kind of get it out there and known than to put it on the Game Awards.
Exactly.
And that'll do well. And if you think about it, it does well for their ratings or views anyway, because hey, who's not going to tune in to want to see anything and everything they can of GTA?
It would be
Exactly.
a huge turnout if they were to announce something about GTA 6. Now, GTA 6, Rockstar, and you listen to me now before you complete the game.
I love it, from Nintendo to Rockstar.
Listen, add in some skins, custom skins, celebrity skins. I would like to walk around like Kanye. So if you can do that for me, please. So that's all I want to say.
Why would you do that to yourself, man? You're going to get like mugged and people going like, man, nah, I don't know if that's a good idea, Star.
It is very weird.
It's one of my
No, I only say that because, Yeah, no, I know, but Kanye is not exactly the most likable person. So yeah, you see what I'm getting at? It's like the minute you get into that. Now you talking about just for story, or you talking about multiplayer? What are you talking about?
Oh, this is multiplayer, not for
Oh,
story.
okay, that's what I figured because you're a multiplayer guy. So I was just thinking like
Yeah.
you pick Kanye, man, you ain't gonna get like a block
Oh, no.
before people.
Hey, if they make Kanye a
I'm just
protagonist
saying.
in this game, people probably will love to play this so they can see all the bad things that might happen to him in the game. So
Oh, no doubt, it'd be
maybe that can
wild. It would
probably
be
work.
100% wild.
It
Yeah,
might work. So, but no,
I'm
I
just
was
saying
just
like
saying
what other
just
players
add
would do.
skins.
It's like
Mm.
So.
Add skins, just don't add Kanye, I guess. But
No, go ahead if you want. I mean, if you want to get like taken out over and over again and have to like
Oh
keep
boy.
finding new lobbies. So
Wow.
nothing against Kanye. I mean, none at all.
Oh,
I'm
man.
just speaking off of the climate of the
I
world
get
against
it. I
Kanye.
get
That's
it.
all I'm saying. So
Yeah.
That is
not to mention
extremely
like if they could even do that because Kanye is gonna be like, hey, y'all pay me like $1 billion.
I mean,
Get that skin on
maybe
there.
again, that was
Hey.
just me throwing out that rich list, but they can do other type of skins,
Yeah, no, I'm messing with you, man. Yeah.
like this theme skins, not just always buying clothes and stuff. Like this, give us, some other type of methods.
I feel you, man. I got you. So, hey, so kid, going back to your Kingdom Hearts real quick. Do you think with 4 coming out, you'll be any closer to understanding the story, or not?
Um, I for the most part now I'm a little behind when it comes to like the mobile games and stuff like that and that lore and story. But
Uh-huh.
when you just talk about the actual like games that came out like uh on actual like traditional video game platforms, the PlayStation, Xbox, stuff like that. For the most part, I have a general understanding of the story. It's very convoluted. It's very all over the place. But for the most part, I kind of know most of it. I have a good understanding of the story. I might need a refresher because it has been so long. So I've actually
Mhm.
dived into that world because it's been quite a while. But no, I kind of understand a good bit of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, I've been wanting to because I have Kingdom Hearts 3. Even though I forgot it came out, I know looking back, I do have it, and I just never played it. And one of the things was just because, like, am I even going to really understand the story? Because I love part 1 and some of part 2 I enjoyed. But yeah, as far as understanding what was really going on story wise, I couldn't tell you.
And see, that's where, like Star was saying, 2 and 3, all the games that came out in between that, to really understand the story, unfortunately, you do have to play all those games because even though they're not mainline games, they're all canon to the story and they all matter. And when it comes to
Mhm.
3, if you have not played those games, you will not understand anything.
Yeah. So
Can
I
they
mean,
can
but
they just basically make a type of cartoon based on the games so we can have a different way of following the story?
Um,
it's probably just as convoluted if I'm being honest.
It probably. You could watch like a compilation video of all the cutscenes on YouTube or
Oh
something.
yeah,
Would probably
yeah.
be a pretty good, or like a breakdown of the story and stuff like that. I personally would recommend you go play them because they're all phenomenal games. Kingdom Hearts is my favorite video game franchise ever, so I would always
Mhm.
recommend you just go play the games because they're great. But yes, if you did want to try to understand the story, you could probably best off just to watch a video. But yeah, going just from 2 to 3, you're not gonna know what's going on.
Oh, true, true.
You'll be completely lost. So
Yeah.
with with that being said, I think it's time to get to these nominations, fellas, and see
Well,
what
let's do
games
it.
might be winning some awards. Before I do, I forgot to ask. Somebody's writing this down, right?
Yes,
Didn't I do that
time.
last time?
I think so. Yeah.
Now I have to figure out what I did.
I
Yeah,
think
that's right. Because I did some kind of thing where I did like I think I did this like a sell or something. So I
Yeah, I
wanted
want
to
to say it was
make
a
note of what we
spreadsheet.
picked. Yeah. Good
So,
catch, man. Good catch.
so of course, game of the year, and the award goes. No, I'm just playing. Of course,
Dang, I
we're
was
not
like,
going
you
to
jumped
start.
into
Yeah, we're not going to
it.
start a game of the year. That's what they do. They wait till the end. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to wait till the end. So the first nomination, fellas, best game direction, and the nominations are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Hmm.
And again, this is best game direction. If you want their definition, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
Okay. And also, just to let everybody know, because I didn't know this myself, if you do go to the actual GameAwards.com site, you can actually sign up to vote for these categories
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
before they close the voting. So,
So,
by me saying this, not to just throw anybody off, but before by me saying this, we might have to edit it, Brian, because we might post it around the time where voting is no longer even going to be needed.
Who's Brian?
BP? No one said Brian. I mean, you can
wow.
go back and
You
like
see
no
that?
one ever said. You just said your own name just now.
Nah, you said it,
All
but it's
right.
okay.
All right. Well, I'll
I
go
didn't
ahead
think
and
about
kick
it.
it
I
off.
just did it now, but go ahead.
For best game direction for me, Baldur's Gate 3.
Well, I
Alright.
mean, surprise, surprise.
To no one's surprise, if you've been listening to me ramble, Baldur's Gate 3.
Hey, man. I mean, all right. You want to kind of care to give us some insight, as to what makes you feel that way, or do you feel like you've already talked about it enough to where that's like a given?
Um, so I'll just touch on it quickly on the part where they say creative vision and innovation. It was definitely innovative. Way miles beyond innovative. Just the amount of like replayability and just the fact that there's so many different situations and so many ways to play the game and so many different scenarios that can happen. I mean, to really say you can play the game however you want to play the game is not an understatement for this. So it's
Hmm.
just that game design and again putting players first, putting fun first. Was is definitely evidence in the game. I mean, it's just from start to finish a fun game. I mean, I have over 100 hours in the game, and not a single hour has been spent upset, not happy, irritated, angry with the game. Every single hour, I've loved it, and I want to put in hundreds more hours into the game.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. Start what you think.
I mean, not being biased, but Nintendo has two titles already in that category. So when I look at those titles from Super Mario Bros. Wonder and then from the actual Zelda, which is the sequel to the original one, which was what? Breath of the Wild. This one I think is called Tears of the Kingdom. I feel
Yep.
like both those games definitely fit the category because they basically took franchises that we already thought we knew and just still refresh them to something when you play them again, you're playing a new game. The mechanics they have in these games now are just overboard with creativity. So I did not physically play this game, well, Mario Bros. Wonder, but for what I've seen, for someone who was playing it right next to me the whole time, some of the features and things that Mario can do when he selects that different star, which I knew the actual details, the game gives you so many new options of how it interacts or Mario interacts with the game. It's crazy. So either one of those two titles, I can't pick just one. So
Yeah,
either
you can.
or.
You can
But you
I,
got
definitely
you
pick
got to
one.
pick one.
Yeah.
You
I
got to
gotta
pick one.
pick
You
one.
got to
Oh,
pick
You
one.
have to be. You have
It's
to. You
not.
have to be the.
It's not how
You
that
have to be the.
works.
You have to be an example for our audience, man. Come on
yeah,
now.
I will say Super Mario Bros. Wonder because I was excited about a game that I thought I already knew it what it was going to be. It is not what you think it's going to be. So I go with that one.
All right, look at that.
Well, okay. So,
BP.
well, this is probably not going to go the way you think, but I think I'm actually going to pick Baldur's Gate 3 as well.
Look at
And
Nice.
that.
I know, big shocker. Everybody, oh God, the Spider-Man fan pick something else. Like, wow, this is a big deal. So, no, but so the reason why is because we're hearing you talk about it, but not just you talking about it, but like when I went on YouTube to kind of look at some of the reviews on it and some of the gameplay, and also just knowing all that went into it, all that you can do in there, like you said, the choices,
Mm,
the different types of interactions you can have in there. I mean, I've heard some crazy stories, not just from you, but from
yeah.
like one of me and Sar's friends. He talks a lot about it and the crazy stuff he gets into like all the time in that game. And so, just
Yeah.
from that standpoint alone, I don't think anything's touching it. And again, that like I have so much love for Spider-Man, as you know. So like Spider-Man 2, I definitely have. I definitely like the vision that they had in there and the direction and the design, of course, I love. Innovation, there was some innovation there, maybe not as much uh, as far as versus the original one. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem like
Mm,
it's really leaps and bounds above it. And that's where I kind of would give it more of an edge to Baldur's Gate after just knowing all that I know about it. So yeah, so I'm just gonna pick
Okay,
that.
cool.
Nice, good. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Of course you would. So,
All-
but go ahead.
I was gonna move on to the next one.
Oh, wait, did you want to talk about like if we had to pick a shocker?
Oh, the shocker. Okay, okay.
Yeah, like if we had to choose a shocker of one of these games being the shocking win. Like what would
Um,
that be?
for me, if I had to pick a shocker, it would be Zelda, only because it's Nintendo and people like Star are obsessed with Nintendo. And even though we have a lot of phenomenal games, don't get me wrong, I played Zelda, the first one and the sequel. I have finished the sequel, but I have played a little bit of it, and it's a very fun game. And they do a lot of great things. But I just know how the Nintendo fan base is, so I would say Zelda.
Okay. What about you, Sar?
I mean, I would say the shocker, in my opinion, would still be Spider-Man 2, only
Hmm.
because, again, there's been some, I don't think it'd be spoilers, but there's moments where you can play as Venom, and everybody is raving about that and how that mechanic might go into their next game. So I just feel
Mm,
like that
good
might
point. Good
just
point.
be the next one. But it's not because of the fan base, but because it's just one of those games where it adds something to the sequel or to the next level to people who feel like it fits the category. So
No, that's
It
a good
deserves
point
it.
though. That's
It
a good
deserves
point.
it.
Yeah, because there's been plenty of games that's done that has spawned other games because of a mechanic or a choice in it. So yeah, it makes sense. Not bad, sir.
BP.
So I was gonna go with Wonder, Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Okay.
And again, not as a shade or anything, but just because like I know I heard some people say, like it's just interesting that Super Mario Brothers Wonder would be even up for these awards like that because it is a Mario game. And
Yeah.
I have to say though, it's like, hey, don't count it out because again, they managed to refresh Mario's pretty well. I mean, I really don't hear a whole lot about a new Mario game being really like a dud or anything. They usually always get kind of really good reviews,
Hmm.
um, or people rave about it. And from what I saw of it, I didn't. And granted, I didn't see much of it, Wonder, but from what I saw of it, I was like, yeah, I mean, it looks fun. If I was still kind of into that Mario scene like that, I definitely would have. It definitely would have been something I picked up. So.
Okay.
And just me giving the credit where it's due, where it's like, hey, they're able to still be innovative somehow with this this character after all this time. I mean, I could see that being a good reason for it to be to win it.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So moving on to the next category, best narrative, and the nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, which is the DLC, Final Fantasy 16, and Spider-Man 2.
All right. I'm just going to vote. I'm not going to try to give any type of details to why I'm voting because we got a lot to go through. So I'm going to stick with on my end because of Kid Baldur's Gate 3.
Ooh, okay.
Nice, right off the bat, got it. Okay,
All right. What about y'all?
BP, you want to
kid.
go? Or
No, I was gonna say, kid, you might as well go. We already know where you're going, man. So
no surprise, Baldur's Gate 3. Best narrative, as I kind of said in the previous statement, you could be any type of character you want to be. There's so many different stories, so many different narratives. I mean, so many different ways to play the game. The story is really incredible. It's not just choices for choices' sake. They're really
right,
engaging characters. I mean, the party members that you pick up, there's a reason the internet went crazy over those party members because they're all likable and entertaining characters that you want to know, that you want to be around and to have in your party. So it's Baldur's Gate 3. Come on.
okay. Well, honestly, I'd have to concur with that, fellas. I'd have to say Baldur's Gate 3 as well. Because I mean, you pretty much said everything I was going to say anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't think that you could really fight against how like overwhelmed how much has it going for it as far as narration, as far as the storytelling aspect. I mean, there's so many avenues to it, that I just don't see any of these other. And all due respect to these other titles on the list, I just don't see
Mhm.
any of them really touching Baldur's Gate in that regard. I just think
Yeah.
it's leaps and bounds above it, and I think it's pretty obvious to those who are in the know of it. So, yeah,
Cool,
Nice,
cool, cool.
nice. All right.
yeah.
What about shockers?
Oh,
So, if I had
I
to pick
can.
a shocker for me, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I can go.
Yeah.
Uh, God, I'm torn. If Baldur's Gate 3 does not win, I would like to see Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty win, only because it is really, the story was really engaging, and there is a moment in the story where you have to stop and make a decision. And I legit like paused and sat there for a couple of minutes and was like, oh, which decision do I make? Who do I go? What do I do? Like, so and I haven't had that situation in a video game in quite a while, where I actually was like, what do I do here? Actually, I don't know what to pick. So I would like
Okay.
to see them winning, because that was really good.
All right. So, and I mean, and I guess to that end, it would still be a shocker too, because of the fact that people see Cyberpunk. Like, can you imagine it just with all that it went through, and it actually wins? And some, because there's still some people out there probably still sour about it,
Oh
no
yeah.
doubt.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so just for it to win, it'd be kind of a big shock. Like, wait a minute. So, yeah. So, for me, I am going to go with Alan Wake 2.
Nice.
I know. And here's the thing, because I haven't played that yet, right? But I actually started playing the first one not too long ago. And I can see where there could be a divide of it. I definitely think it's a strong thing. It's a strong story based game for those who really like the type of style that it's in. Mainly for like how you have like shows or certain games that have like the main character monologue. The protagonist
Yeah.
does like a monologue. So if you're into that kind of thing, I think that's a really really strong appeal for those who really get into that stuff. And honestly, like that for me would be the shocker, because Alan Wake always kind of seemed like a niche type of thing. But imagine if it wins, and
Yeah.
the people who support niche things, voices heard in that regard. That's why I think that would be a huge shock.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I said I was torn, because I've heard a lot of good things about it. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I did
Right.
play the original like many years ago, way back on the Xbox 360. So at some point, I do want to replay the first one and then play the sequel, just to have a better kind of cohesive experience. But everything I've seen and heard about the game is phenomenal. I really do want to play it. We've had a lot of hitters this year.
Nice. Okay.
Star?
But yeah.
I'm just going to agree with PP on this one, only because I have not played any of these games. But from what I understand from the first one, how emotional driven the game story was, and how it involved so much realistic decisions that you don't really want to make in life, but in the game it puts you in those shoes for that moment. That's kind of how you should win one of these awards, if that's how you feel emotionally attached to the character of a game. So I give it to Alan Wake 2.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Cool.
All right. I like it. All right. So that was best narrative. Next, it's going to be best art direction. And the nominees are, you're going to see a lot of repeats here: Alan Wake 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Notably, Baldur's Gate 3 is not here. What a shame.
I know that had to hurt a little bit, right?
Just a little. And honestly, I wish I would have played Alan Wake 2 before this, because I might have went for that. But I'm going to be honest, I think I'm going to give my vote to Hi-Fi Rush, only because that did have a really nice art direction. And it was really cool kind of how they took the music being an integral part of the game, and just like having that reflected all around the game. And just the art style being it reminded me of like a Saturday morning cartoon and everything like that. It was just a really
Nice.
good art style.
Okay.
So I think that'll be my nomination.
Yeah, I have to second that. Just because you can't really go wrong with the type of art style that it presents. Kind of gives me a reminiscence of like a Jet Set Radio, or
Yeah.
I don't want to say Crazy Taxi, but just in that kind of like style, like animation style. I just feel like I've always felt like you can't go wrong with those kinds of titles and stuff, like with art direction. Because
Absolutely.
it's different. It's not like, because most games, those faces usually kind of done in the same bread. Like,
Yeah.
and nothing, not to knock those games at all. Like all games have their own kind of cool thing, but we just kind of get used to that whole realistic character design and everything of these games. And so when you see something like that, it just sets itself apart from that. And I just think that always gives it the edge.
Yeah. All right, Nintendo head, go ahead. What you picking?
I mean, it will only make sense when it comes to the technical achievements. I mean, Mario Bros. Wonder it's running that smoothly on the Switch. So the game looks amazing on the big screen and twice as amazing on the small screen. So again, that tech ship, how old that thing is, and how Nintendo's still squeezing out such graphical power for their game designs with that. That's amazing. So technically, I have to give it to Nintendo because I can talk about the Zelda game. It is and how crazy that can still run on 30 frames per second. Like it boggles my mind how with now I'm not going to try to dog any other systems, but there's certain more powerful systems that have way more leaps and bounds in technology to make the games look like next gen, but kind of still look like old gen. So Nintendo to use something that's technically old gen technologies and make it still work well with the current gen systems, technically that's magic. So I'm sticking with Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
All right. And for shock and awe,
who want to go with that one?
Well, I mean, all of us, but I guess I'll jump into it.
Who wants to go first?
For me, it would be Alan Wake 2. Just from what I've seen of that game, and the atmosphere and world, it does look really interesting, and it is a pretty good and unique kind of art direction. So I wouldn't mind that being my shock and awe.
Okay. I'm kind of torn. I'll say Lies of P just for shock's sake because I look at it and I know there's a bunch of people out there who will look and think, yeah, it's artistically, a delight to behold. But I just think that overall, when you look at it, I don't think that would necessarily scream art direction. I think it's more or less like it would scream other aspects of like gameplay or whatever else, or maybe the story. But art direction would be something I think most people would really kind of fall into with Lies of P. So that's why I think it'll be a shocker if it should won.
Okay, all right,
so that's what I'm picking. What about you, Star? You're up.
No, so here's my thing. I'm going to stick with. I want to say with you, kid, but at the same time, this is only because I think they stole the art style from No More Heroes. But Hi-Fi Rush, when I saw the graphics to the game, saw some of the audio, some of the video, BP, yes, it does look like Jet Set, reminiscent of that, but I felt like I was looking at a No More Heroes game. Like they really pulled some of the art direction, and I love that art from that game. So, yeah, Hi-Fi Rush might be the surprise win.
Nice. All right. Okay. So, not bad. Moving on to Best Score and Music, and the nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So it's no surprise for me, but Baldur's Gate 3, I mean, phenomenal soundtrack. I mean, I'll just say this. The title screen soundtrack gets you so hyped and pumped, and I could just sit down and just listen to that play for a minute before even loading up the game. That's how you know it's a good soundtrack.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm going to go with Hi-Fi Rush. And the main reason is because that element of the score and music seems to be baked into the game.
Yeah.
As the core mechanic of the game. So I think that in order for you to really have a game that people love and can really have a great time playing, you would have to nail that aspect of the score and music. I just think that would be way more essential for that than something like a Baldur's Gate that already has and I'm not saying it wouldn't benefit greatly from a great music and score. Obviously, like you said, the title, screen itself gets you hyped for it. So, it's necessary, but I'm just saying, like, if you've already knocked it out the park with the story and great gameplay elements of Baldur's Gate, then the music wouldn't really hit as much as it needs to for like Hi-Fi Rush. So that's why I'm picking that.
Okay. That's fair. Star?
You already know. Should I even bother?
Hey man, just because you may shock the world, man. I'm waiting for it. So just
I mean, Nintendo is known for making the most amazing soundtracks. When it comes to their Zelda games, they go above and beyond. So I just don't know if anyone else put the same amount of budget into the music as what Nintendo did with the Zelda games. It's technically they are so good that they get their own separate CDs sometimes that you can just get with the game as some type of collectible. So I'm going to stick with Legends of Zelda and the Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm not
All
mad at
right.
that actually, because that was actually my first thought. So I'm not actually mad at that because Zelda does have a good track record.
Oh yeah.
All right, and your shocker?
I will say I'm just gonna go with Alan Wake 2. Just because again, I think it's a title that I wouldn't imagine a lot of people would really collectively gasp over the soundtrack. You know what I mean? So I think that would be my pick anyway.
I'll go with Final Fantasy. I can't remember what number those
16.
16. There we go. I was going to do it in my head just now. Like there's a X and there's a V, there's a 5, that's a 10. Okay, so all right, so I'll stop.
Shout out to Kid for the assist.
Hey, it was a great soundtrack. It was a great game.
Yeah, so I would say that's a shocker. What about you, Kid?
I'm gonna do a hi-fi. Same kind of reasoning as BP is that. I mean, it's a rhythm-based game essentially, and so having a good soundtrack is core to the experience. And from what I played of it, they definitely delivered on that soundtrack. So that would definitely be my choice right there. So
okay.
moving on to best audio design, and they describe this as recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. The nominees are Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, and this is the remake from this year, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and then the Resident Evil 4 remake.
This one is a little bit tougher to really decipher, but let me tell you something. Let's stop for a minute and just appreciate that they gonna make sure Alan Wake 2 wins an award, ain't they?
They have to.
They're gonna make sure.
In every category, yeah.
So far, every category.
Seriously, like they really want this thing to win something. So, man. Oh goodness. So my gut is telling me to go with Spider-Man. Actually, it's kind of a tie between Spider-Man and Resident Evil, but what I'm actually going to ultimately pick would be Dead Space.
Okay.
And reason being, and I'm a Dead Space fan as well, but the biggest reason for Dead Space is because what I've played of it so far, because I actually played that recently too, the atmosphere is crucial. It's key to that game, right?
Yeah.
If you're in space, you're experiencing the terror in space, or at least in the space station, to be more fair. And you really have to nail the spooky aspects of it, like going down corridors and hearing like the rustling of metal, like just strange noises just going down corridors. And I think from what I've experienced of it, and again, this is even coming from the first Dead Space, before the remake, it always had that edge for it when it came to the audio design, because it just terrified me. Like I had moments, guys, where I would literally be paralyzed. I would not move, especially with headsets on, where you just heard so many just crazy, spooky things going on in the atmosphere that I just was so terrified of just making one step to any direction and getting jumped on by like one of those necromorphs. So it to me, that's what kind of gives it the edge. For me. So I'll pick that.
Okay. How about your Kid?
Honestly, I think I'm going to have to give this one to Resident Evil 4, the remake.
Okay.
Just because some of the sound effects are just iconic and recognizable. The typewriter when you go to save the game,
Oh yeah, that's great.
It's just nostalgic and just recognizable. So I think for me that's a good one.
Okay.
Star.
I mean, I would still go with BP on this one with Dead Space, because technically with that game, it's all about the sound, and I think they probably put so much technology into that. Was it spatial surround sound? So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of different things happening that would feel like it's happening behind you, on the side of you, or in front of you. I mean, it's gonna use the technology of the current gen systems for that sound. So I want to play that game with headphones on. It might be a possibility next month. So for right now, I'm just gonna stick with Dead Space.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Not bad. Not bad.
And
All right.
for my shock factor, I would give it to Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
I'd give it to Spider-Man 2, and that would be I would like to see that as well. That would be pretty good.
Okay.
Okay.
How about you, BB?
So I was thinking Hi-Fi Rush. I mean, I don't. It's kind of bad of me to say that because I just made a whole spiel of how important it is to have that in the game like this. But I just say that only because of what it's stacked up against. So if it ends up winning that award, I mean, I would be mad at it, but I would find it kind of shocking that it won just because of what it's up against.
Yeah, I can see that. And that will be probably the same way I would go too, because it should not be in this category, in my opinion. But if it is, it might win. So that would be my shock too.
Okay.
All right.
All
Which
right,
one
all right.
with the next category?
So, moving on, best performance. I'm just gonna name the character because I am awful at pronouncing names, so I do not want to butcher these actors and actresses' names unless one of you guys want to come behind me and say it. But the nominees are Final Fantasy 16, the main character, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the main character, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. It's going to be Idris Elba's character. I know how to say his name.
Nice.
Alan Wake 2, I believe it's the woman protagonist. I don't know her name, but it's the other protagonist you get to play as besides Alan Wake himself.
Okay.
Then you have Baldur's Gate 3. This is going to be the character Asterion, one of the party members you can get. And then Yuri Lowenthal, I think he's how you say his last name. He is Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
I have no say with any of those. I'm just gonna let y'all.
Go with Idris, man. You know you want to go with Idris.
No, not no, not even him.
Dang. All right. Sounds like a little bit of a backstory there, but we'll keep it going.
I feel like for me, I'm just not the expert in judging any of these as performances. So I apologize, but I will have to step out of this one and do a shock vote instead.
Hey man, just pick one randomly. It's okay.
Yikes! It's not authentic that way. No, I'll let Kid and BP let y'all just.
All right. Well, while you think of your nomination, I am going to go with, of course, Baldur's Gate 3. While I did not use this party member as much in my playthroughs just yet, I do want to use him in my playthrough at some point in time. I do want to pull him, bring him along. But every time I did interact with him, and any time I've seen clips of him posted online, his voice acting was phenomenal, and you can really tell he gave it his all in that performance. So he did an outstanding job, and that character is phenomenal. So that's my nomination.
Okay. So for me, I may have to. I'll give it to Yuri.
Yuri.
From Spider. Yeah, Yuri. I said it right? Yeah, Yuri, and Spider-Man 2. Just because. That thing, being the protagonist, one of the protagonists in that game, is very crucial to have a believable Peter Parker / Spider-Man voice. That's who it was, right?
Yeah, Peter Parker.
Okay, I was just making sure because I was like, I'm bad with names sometimes. But anyway, so you have to have a believable. It's kind of like you look at like Batman the animated series, and you had Kevin Conroy. It's like I'm not saying that he's at that level, but I'm just saying it's the believable factor of, okay, I hear that voice and I believe that's Batman. I hear this voice and I believe that's Spider-Man. So that's why I would kind of give it to him on that front.
So he captured the essence of the actual character.
For the most part, yeah. For the most part, so yeah, so that's why I give it to him.
Yeah, I agree with that. He definitely did a phenomenal job with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
especially having to switch his performance and being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to being Venom, the Venom Spider-Man or the Black Suit Spider-Man.
It's a really great point. Didn't even think to say that, but yes, that's exactly right. So, yep.
In my shock, I give it to Yuri as well because that was a really great performance from him. Seeing like both sides of the character and see him a little more emotional and everything like that. Because you got a little bit of it in part 1 or in the first Spider-Man, but you get a lot more of it in 2.
Right. So, yep. That's what I'm going with too. So
Star.
All right, Star. Yeah, time's up, man. You gotta make your picks.
The shock one. Cameron Monaghan. That's his name, I think. The dude from Star Wars, the Jedi Survivor. That's who I will go with.
All right, but you gotta
No.
you gotta pick another one, man. You gotta do it.
Oh wait, no, I just wanted the shock because again, I haven't played those other games to even judge. So
Hey, man, it's not that serious. It's just an award show.
all right, y'all. They want me to lie to y'all, so I'm gonna stick with Melody Weber from Alan Wake because her face is believable. Why not?
Shooting your shot.
Her
I hear you,
face
sir.
is believable. All right.
Exactly, shooting a shot. I ain't mad at that. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you down, Star. I got you down on that.
This man right
I ain't
here.
mad at that at all. Hey, he made his play.
All right.
Okay, so we're good. Hold on, let me see. What was your shock again, Star? Never mind, I got you. What did I pick for my shot? I don't think I picked a shot, did I?
I don't think you did either.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad I just went back and thought about that. Shock. I think they evolved. I'm gonna go with what you picked, Star.
Oh, the Jedi
Cameron.
Survivor.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I don't want to take nothing away from him because he's because he's the same. He did the first Star Wars, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he did pretty good on that. But I think compared to what he stacked up against, yeah, I would say that's a shot.
Okay.
All right. So moving on to the next category, I think this is where we finally deviate a little bit from the regular nominations. We have Best Ongoing. They describe this as awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. The nominations are Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. I'll go ahead and jump off with it. My nomination got to be for Cyberpunk, only because the evolution of this game from what we got a few years ago to what we have today, especially when you take into account the Phantom Liberty DLC, it's almost pretty much night and day. It's a completely different experience. Yeah, I've said it before. I'll always say it. They should have done better. We shouldn't have got what we got at launch. Shame on them. It's something they're always going to have to live with. But I will tell you, they stuck with it and they took it to heart and they said, you know what, we can do better. We will do better. And they really proved it with the 2.0 launch that they did, as well as, again, Phantom Liberty. They really came full circle with it. Still not as perfect as it could have been. There's definitely things people would have liked to have seen, myself included. And so one of the reasons why I'm still extremely excited for the Cyberpunk sequel we're getting probably in like 50 years from now. Who knows when it'll be out? It'll be forever. But I am still excited because they have shown that they are dedicated to their IPs, to their franchises. And you honestly play, Cyberpunk 1.0 and then play what you have today, and it's a completely different experience. So kudos to them.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to agree with Kid on that one. That's because didn't they also do a Netflix series?
Yeah, there is the anime Edge Runners. So it takes place in the same universe as Cyberpunk, but it's its own unique story. And I praised it plenty of times before, and I will again continue to praise it because they do a phenomenal job of taking the feel and the look and the sounds of the game and then putting that into the show. I mean, just from like the scenes that you see, the sayings, because there's so many like unique dialogue and like made up terms for Cyberpunk that they really do in the anime. Like in the game, when you get like a phone call, it's like, I think it's called a holo call, and you can like see the person's face and stuff like that. That is replicated to a T in the anime. It looks and sounds exactly how it does in the game. And so for me and a lot of other people, after that came out last year, it made them want to go back and play the game again. And it's go watch Edge Runners. You will cry your heart out, but it is a phenomenal show.
All right. Well, it has my vote. All right. What about you, BP?
So I'd really have to give it a Fortnite, man. I mean, I know that just sounds like an easy out by default, but I just look at it like the popularity of it is still insane to me, man. Like
Yeah.
things feel like it's just been out forever and ever now. So the fact that it has still the massive following that it does have, it still finds its way into a lot of conversation out there in the gaming world, and to some degrees, and that is so it still remains to be very accessible for everybody to jump into. I mean, and I don't even like it. I don't really even play it, but I just have to give credit where it's due. Like, I mean, they've when you talk about ongoing, I mean, I don't know what else could really stack up against it. So, just my opinion.
All right. Okay. All right. What about Shock?
Me, I would say Genshin Impact. 'Cause I
Okay.
literally hear nobody talk about that game like at all anymore. So,
They're too
not to say it
busy.
doesn't. What's that?
They're too busy spending money on the game to talk about it.
Fair enough.
Nah.
Fair enough. So,
Nah, I
yeah.
played one of their other games, so I can't talk junk about them.
Yeah, I like that cleanup, but
How about you,
um,
kid?
I actually I'll agree with BP with Fortnite. Only because of because they brought back the OG map about a month or so ago. And actually I hopped back in with a couple of friends, and it's been a really good time going back in and playing it and seeing Fortnite how it used to be back when I would play it originally. So I think that was a big W on their part. So yeah, that would be my surprise is Fortnite because they did a pretty cool thing.
Okay, okay.
Nice, nice.
I'm going with Apex because Apex Legend is still around. I felt like Fortnite was going to destroy them, but they're still here.
They are, which is a great game.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, do you still play it, kid?
No, I have not played it in a very long time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember you used to love, like, man, that game was something that you just talked about a lot.
Yeah, but as things go, friends didn't want to play it anymore, and so it's not really to me. It's not really a game to play by myself.
Oh, you sound like
Fair.
somebody I know with Overwatch.
Oh, wow. I wonder who that person is. You never know.
Never know. Never know.
Nope, apparently not.
So in the interest of time, unless you guys object, I'm just gonna move on past a couple and go to best action game.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's fine. We can do it.
the nominations are Armored Core 6, Dead Island 2, which I kind of forgot that came out this year, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, and Remnant 2.
Wow. Well,
I am going to give it to Armored Core. It, again, it's one of the games that's on my list of games to play, but because we got so many great games, I have not got a chance to get to it yet. I still am going to give it to Armored Core only because everything I have seen from the game and heard about the game, it looks really good, and it does look like an action-packed game. It's still a From Software game, so get good, but the action does look high intent, so I got to give it to Armored Core.
Okay, all right. What about you, Star? What you got?
I don't even think I will ever play this game, but when I first saw the trailer for it before it was even released, Ghost Runner 2, I felt that game was going to be like breaking some new norms for how a ninja will be in a futuristic setup of world. So I haven't played it, but because of this technology, ninja future, they can't go wrong. So I would think that they might win it.
Yeah, those are 3 great words put together just now. So yeah, you don't see how you can go wrong either. You're right. I think I'm gonna go with Remnant 2, and that mainly comes from the strength of the first game, the first Remnant. When I played that, and you remember, kid, when we got into that one. And it actually was surprisingly fun. Had a lot of good action elements to it. And from what I heard from a couple of friends of mine that actually have it, they were basically saying, yeah, it's basically more of the same, but actually better in a lot of regards. So that would be my pick personally. So,
and a quick side note to that, I just found out right before we started recording that Remnant 1 and Remnant 2 are now on Game Pass. So another W for Game Pass because I have
Oh
actually
man,
been
why'd you tell
waiting.
me that?
I know
Oh,
I have been waiting to play this game. And so as soon as I saw it, I was like, bet I am about to download this. So it is now on
oh
Game Pass.
man. See, yeah, I'm looking for it right now. Thank you,
And
sir.
that will be
Made my day.
my surprise as well because same thing you heard, BP, I've heard as well, is that it's pretty much exactly more of the same from the first one but better and expanded upon. And I've heard a lot of good things about the procedural generation and how I could start the game and you could start the game and it can be two completely different starts with different items, different weapons, just completely different experiences. And I think that sounds like a really fun, especially for like replayability and things like that.
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna have to be this weekend thing for
Yep,
sure.
I got to free up space.
Oh,
Yep.
that's for me too. I'm working on it right now. So I did not expect that, man. You really made my night with that, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
awesome.
Hey, my night was made too when I saw that. I was like, wait, is this real? And sure enough, yep, there it is. So
Nice. All right. So about shockers, what we got?
Oh, maybe Hi-Fi Rush.
okay, all right.
Okay, High Five Rush, Star. What about you, kid?
Remnant was my shocker.
Oh, you picked that already. My bad. Okay.
Yeah. Armor Core was my nomination.
Right. Yeah, I got that part. Shocker. I'm just gonna go with Dead Island 2.
All right, that is a shocker.
Yeah, just because I mean it's been kind of quite a while since the first one came out, right? And
Yeah, it's been a couple years.
yeah, so
Actually, I'm sorry, a lot of years. This is the one that was stuck in like development hell or whatever and kept getting like tossed around different developers and everything like that. That a lot of people were not expecting the game to come out. But sure enough,
right.
it did.
Yeah, so just for it to win, that'd be kind of interesting. So yeah, that's my
I
pick.
would. All right, I like that. I like that because I am curious to see if it does. Because that's probably one of the only few categories it's actually in, which, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We have Best Action Adventure. And the nominees are, to no surprise to anybody, Alan Wake 2.
We're back again.
Spider-Man 2. Resident Evil 4. Jedi Survivor. And The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This is an easy pick for me. Spider-Man 2. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm not even gonna waste time, and I'm going on what you said. Exact same thing. There's just no way for me to get around it at all. Like, no,
Yeah.
not with all we talked about and what you can do in the Venom part.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like, yeah. Easy pick.
Star.
About you, Star.
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry that I'm going to be the outsider on this, but Resident Evil 4, come on, y'all.
Wow.
Nice.
Over Zelda. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's very
only because I played Breath of the Wild, so I know what I'm getting into, and it was not that long ago. But to have that gap between Resident Evil 4 and it's that game to me just the epitome of how action game was redesigned. I mean, it's just they did it right. So
just so we're clear, you're picking that over Legend of Zelda, right?
Yeah, I am.
Nintendo game.
I am. Yes.
I said Nintendo.
That's crazy.
That's a shocker.
Yeah. Wow.
That's probably the one and only time.
Yeah, well, we got to record it, so that's a good thing. So you can't go back and change it.
So I guess your shocker is going to be Zelda then? You got to have Nintendo in there somehow, right?
I was not going to make that my shocker because I won't be shocked if that's the case.
Oh.
I would probably say that the Star Wars Jedi Survivor might be the shocker for me. It's not like they've done anything different with the game, but they just polished the mechanics. So, but yeah.
Okay, I actually agree with that as well. I think Jedi Survival would be my shocker. From what I've seen, that's going to be my shocker.
What about you, BP?
Alan Wake 2.
Oh,
ooh, okay.
Yeah, just because, and I don't remember who. I wish I remember who said this, but I've heard it actually a couple times being called like a pretty much a walking simulator. So,
Wow. All right.
so I mean, I don't know how true that is. I didn't play it, so but I just heard it a few times and thought it was funny. So I was like, that to me would be kind of the shocker one. I'm pretty sure a lot of people
Yeah.
would be like taking the gas, especially what it's up against. So yeah.
Oh yeah. All right.
So y'all picked Jedi Survivor, right? I'm sorry, I'm trying to
Yeah.
keep up with the
No, you're
selections
fine.
and typing all this up. So all right, and then I picked Alan Wake somehow. So okay, all right, I think we're good.
All right. Next up is Best RPG. And the nominees are Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah, I think you already know what to put BP for me. Final Fantasy
Of course, I'm already doing it
16,
now.
Liza P, Sea of Stars, and Starfield, which interesting enough, this is like one of the only times Starfield is mentioned, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Best RPG, Baldur's Gate. I mean, the amount of ways you can build your character, I mean, we talked about it already, but yeah, it's Baldur's Gate 3.
I was surprised
It's
you
a
even went to the
no-brainer.
I mean, as I said, I was surprised you even decided to say it because I already typed your name and everything.
Yeah. What about y'all?
Rap.
I'm gonna agree with you because you sold me on this game, but like I said, until it has the multiplayer, I'll hold off.
And so, quick side note on that, I just want to remind people, I think we talked about it before, they did announce that at the Game Awards, they will announce the release date for the Xbox version of Baldur's Gate 3. And they are, as a reminder, working on crossplay. So my theory and my hope is that after or during the announcement that they make, they say, hey, it comes out tomorrow, which is a Friday, that Friday, December 8th on Xbox. But not only that, crossplay for all the platforms, because to me, that's like the perfect time to announce it now that you have it on Xbox, have crossplay on everything. So I none of that's confirmed. The only thing that is officially confirmed is we're getting the Xbox release date during the Game Awards. But I'm hoping it will give us the release date for crossplay. And if so, y'all better be ready because we playing it.
Oh yeah, I'm ready now. Just need them to do what's right.
But you can go ahead, BP, for your nomination.
I mean, Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, who are we kidding?
Nice.
Like who
nice.
are we kidding? And all the buzz, all the stuff going on with that game. I mean, it doesn't even have to be repeated at this point. Like we already know. Like,
yes, yeah.
So we can just move right on to shockers.
And for me, that would be Starfield.
Oh, I was going to pick that too. No, I mean, considering everything that's going on, and that's actually something I wanted us to talk about. I don't know if it's going to be a topic, but like, I didn't know if y'all had heard about how Bethesda's been responding to the
reviews,
criticisms. Yeah. Like, wow.
It's really interesting. I like the idea, but the execution is weird. But yeah, we can definitely save that for a topic because it's curious to say the least.
100%. So that alone is why I was like, yeah, I'm going for that because that would be a hugely shocked. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be so shocked. They'd be not so shocked, but they'd be like, yeah, how much did Bethesda pay y'all? The win over Baldur's Gate, definitely a huge shock.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Star? What you think?
I'm not going to be an outsider on this one. I'm going to go with that Starfield because, I've seen some of the reviews on it, and it will shock me that it can win any category right now.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, all right.
To any category.
Wow.
Oh.
All right.
There goes that endorsement.
Oh, no. I meant any current category. There might be other categories that it can't fit.
To be announced. Nice save. nice one, man.
Well, we are almost done with our nominations, but we have a few more. Next up being Best Multiplayer. And the nominations are Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And of course, again, shocker, surprise, Baldur's Gate 3 for me. The fact that you can do that 4-player co-op and you can go through the whole game co-op. What the game also does really fun is you don't even necessarily have to you can all be doing your own individual thing. I could be in this zone progressing and doing the story and doing this, that, and the third. And BP, you could be back in the village selling junk and talking things, doing other quests. And Star, you could be on a whole different area in the middle of a fight by yourself.
Okay.
We don't even have to stay together as a team. We can all go and do our own things and have our own experiences and journey. But when you come together and you play together, it's such a fun experience. Definitely think that's a phenomenal way to play the game. It's fun to do a playthrough by yourself, to experience it by yourself how you want to, but doing it with a party, man, is such a fun time.
This man really made me the neighborhood panhandler, man. Okay.
I'm just
selling
saying.
junk. Well, I'm like, dang, it wasn't selling anything good. I mean, just junk.
But knowing you, that fits for your character, because you like to refine your build. So you would be selling all the junk to save up money to go buy that spell to add it to your list, because you got a new build idea in mind that you need to figure out, but you need to get the gold for it first. So it kind of it matches. It adds up.
Man, I don't like how you boxing me right now. The stereotype, man. I don't like that. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not wrong, though. It's not wrong, though. It's not wrong. Let's get that straight.
Oh, man, I hate you. Anyway. So Kid for Baldur's, of course. No surprise there. So, the funny thing is I'm going to pick Baldur's Gate, because I think I would have went with Diablo. But because Diablo's been kind of... missing out lately. I'll just kind of leave it at that.
You don't like spending $70 for a mount, huh?
I mean, who doesn't? I mean, naturally, right? I mean, you just made the money over here, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I know I'm cool with it, but everybody else, I guess, ain't. But nah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think with that being the case, that really did. It took a huge hit from that, and going against Baldur's Gate, you definitely needed all the momentum you needed. I mean, that you could possibly muster for you to even contend with it, and for them to go the direction they've gone is like, you're not even. It's not even up for debate. So yeah, definitely Baldur's Gate.
Absolutely. Star.
So for me, I would have went with Nintendo and went with the Super Mario Bros. Wonder, but I don't do much online gaming with that game. Or if I had that game, it would be more low key. Not low key, but local player. So that's
but that's still multiplayer.
Yeah, it's still multiplayer, but just to fit with most of all the points of the category, Baldur's Gate still will be the game I'm hoping that can have cross-play. So I will put that down for my category pick.
Got you. Okay. All right.
I'm surprised Alan Wake didn't make his way in here too, but anyway, I know it's not multiplayer. I'm being funny, but anyway.
Hey, they might have been like, "Hey, we got two main characters. There you go."
Exactly.
Multiplayer.
Right. That's they probably would frame it that way. You're right.
Shoot, I'm with you. I'm surprised too, honestly. No, but I think my surprise would be Diablo 4. It had its moments, and it definitely was an enjoyable experience, but it does have a lot of issues and a lot of things kind of holding it back from being an outstanding game and experience. But I would be surprised if that did win.
Okay. I'm gonna pick Party Animals, and that's only because I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, I've seen.
I hate to say it like that, but you have.
Yeah,
one at least. Have you, from what you saw, or?
Yeah, it looks like one of those silly. You ever play Fall Guys?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Of maybe like that.
Think of the wackiness, and that's kind of what this game is like. It's really a wacky. It's one of the ones where you'll be yelling at your friends because they're getting you nervous, but it's all a fun time. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Well, cool. I'll still stick with that. Yeah. And the only reason why is because, well, like I already said, I'd never even heard of it, but with you explaining it that way, it kind of gives off that impression of a underdog kind of tale. So for it to win would be kind of the underdog story coming to light. So that's why I would still give it that as a shot.
Okay.
What about you, Star?
I'm probably gonna go with Street Fighter 4.
6?
Is it 6? 10? Yeah, 6. Kid, thank you.
One
man.
of them, right?
And here's the thing. I may have been saying 4 only because 4 was my favorite, because I wasn't a fan of 5, and I haven't played 6. 4 was probably my favorite, so that's probably why I slipped it. But yeah, I say Street Fighter 6.
Okay,
Got you.
all right.
Okay.
Not bad. heard a lot of good things about that game as well. All right. And so the last category before we get to game of the year, most anticipated game. So we're kind of looking out to the future.
Hmm.
The nominees are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8. So I'll go ahead and jump in. For me, it would have to be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Obviously, the first part one was really, really good. It definitely had me itching for more. And so now we're finally getting part two, and it's going to kind of expand upon what we got in part one. Not only obviously the story wise, which, you know, as someone who's never played the original Final Fantasy, I know to BP's detest, he's going to be really upset. You know, I had not played it and still not have played the original 7. Obviously, finishing part one left me with questions and like, okay, well, what's next? Like, I don't know everything that happens. I know some important story beats, but I want to know, like, I don't know the whole story. So it left me wanting more. So I'm definitely excited about that game.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And yeah, you're right. I am upset with you that you haven't played the original, sir. That's unacceptable at this point.
Yep. I knew it.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go next. I'm gonna go with the cheat code, and that is Star Wars Outlaws.
Okay.
Because it's a Star Wars game. I mean, let's face it. I know Ubisoft is attached there, and I know that's turning people's heads like, oh no, please no. But at the end of the day, it's Star Wars, and you know that. I mean, that's always been one of the most anticipated properties ever, especially for games, considering like how I don't say how lacking, but how like far in between you really get a good Star Wars or, you know, somewhat good or attempt at a good Star Wars game, you know? So
yeah, absolutely.
I would agree because Star Wars Outlaws looked like it was going to not be a Jedi-based game. Like there's no lightsabers. Correct. Like it's so to me, I'm like, oh, this piqued my interest. So yeah, I'll
think it's lightsaber, sir.
It might have some moments where they might drop something in there. You see, you bump into a Jedi, I guess, but she or the protagonist in the game, I don't think that she's a Jedi. I don't think she has any abilities. So
correct, she's a bounty hunter, if I'm not mistaken. Now, you know, granted, who knows what they might try to put out at the end? You know, they might tease her being force sensitive or something. But yeah, everything they've shown off so far and said, to my knowledge, is there is no. She is just a regular person, not a Jedi.
So yeah, that piqued my interest. So I will go with that as my pick.
I will say, from what little I have seen, you are in the minority with that opinion, because a lot of people are saying no Jedi, no lightsabers. I'm not playing, which it's kind of sad
That's
to
really
see.
Sad.
You know, I think, don't get me wrong, the lightsaber is one of the coolest weapons in fantasy ever created, and you know, it's hard to have Star Wars and not have a lightsaber, because when you think of Star Wars, you think lightsabers. But there is still a lot of stories and a lot of characters that you can do and show in that universe that don't involve lightsabers.
Can I say this much? Growing up, you know, with the movies, if you were to cut out every part of the movie and just add when there was a lightsaber fight, it's not that much of the movie was the fights. It was more the story. So for me to say I finally can play a game where I feel like I'm living in the story, it piqued my interest. Like I'm not just fighting my way through things. I'm figuring out the atmosphere, the surroundings. I feel like I'm now in the actual game this time around. Not just me as a character doing what I've seen not done that much in the movies.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, Outlaws will be my surprise game, only because it does have that Ubisoft attached to it. And I know, and again, like we just said, it's not a Jedi game; it's a bounty hunter game. So, I know I am interested in it. I would like to see more as we get closer to launch. But if that does win, I will genuinely be a little surprised.
Okay.
Oh man, so I think I probably would go with. I think I'm gonna have to pick Tekken 8.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know it's a bold choice because it is Tekken, but I look at it from a standpoint of like Tekken. I know it's always been a popular thing, but I don't know. Like it's not. And maybe this is just my age talking, but like I can kind of go back to the days of Tekken being really strong, as opposed to the later days or later years the new Tekkens have come out, and I don't know. I just never really felt like the buzz was nowhere near as high as where it was back then. All those times ago, like like looking at Tekken 3 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would kind of base it on, but that's not really based on much of anything at this point because there could be. I'm pretty sure there's still a strong following of Tekken, and I'm sure there's plenty of Tekken fans losing their minds right now at that me saying that. But I don't know as
Probably.
far as yeah, but I mean as far as like because I'm looking at everything else, man, and I it's fair for the Final Fantasy to be looked upon as most anticipated. Hades too, for sure, especially since Hades was
Oh yeah,
very
I'm looking
good.
forward to that. Yeah.
Like a dragon, yeah, Star Wars already mentioned why that is. So I just, in comparison, I just look at Tekken and I'm like, I don't know. That always kind of gives like a been there, done that kind of vibe. I'm pretty sure they're gonna add stuff that's fun and people will love, but I think it's just not gonna stack up overall towards the other titles. So that would be a shocker for me.
All right. Star, did you didn't give yours, did you?
Oh, what we're doing is shocks. Most anticipated. The list right now is neither that exciting to me, but again, I will be surprised that Tekken 8 makes makes it on the list. Like what BP was saying, it's one of those games where you know what you're gonna get. So what do you want with this one? There's better graphics because you're gonna get the same fighting styles. You're gonna get the same the same
All right.
the same combat. Everything's gonna be technically the same. They might bring back characters they didn't use them in the last game, so you might. But yeah, I'm not sure what the anticipation will be for this game. So if it wins, I will be surprised.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Nice. All right. Well, I think it's time, folks, for Game of the Year. Drum roll, please.
I don't have that sound effect, sir. So
dang. All right. Well,
I guess we have to get kind of ghetto with it. I don't know if you can even hear that. You probably can't, but
there we go. All right. The nominees are Alan Wake 2, shocker, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom.
Jesus Christ, man. I thought she was going to read it a little faster. I was like,
oh, my bad.
No, I'm joking. You good. Nah, I'm playing. But all right. What a list. Well, I mean, I guess we can just jump right into it, honestly. Like, yeah, I don't see any real reason to prolong it anymore. We already know what kid's going to pick. I mean, I don't really know why we'd have to.
Yeah, I mean, you already know mine. So
I mean, exactly. So that's not really too much of a surprise. For me, I think ultimately it would have to be with Baldur's Gate 3. And that's really me stepping outside of myself and just kind of looking at the reality of the situation. Given what I mean, we've spent episodes now where you've talked highly about the game in every regard. I have plenty of friends have talked highly about the game in every regard. You can't go anywhere online as far as the gaming sector and not see any rave review about it. I mean, just look, even for people who don't really get into that type of game style, talk about what all is in that game and the incredible presentation it gives out. You know what I mean? So I just feel like at this point it'd be kind of silly of me to even pretend like it wouldn't really. It's a shoe-in for it, at least in my opinion.
Nice.
There's just no way around it. Yeah. Much to my chagrin, I know I love Spider-Man, but I gotta be realistic. I gotta be realistic here.
If it was another year, man, it's just
right. Yeah.
Star
Baldur's Gate coming out this year. Anyway, I'm just joking.
Wait, you said my go? Yeah, Resident. I wanted to be last on this one because I was trying to really decide. But Resident Evil 4. I'm ready.
All right, okay.
I feel as in like just in my mind space on how I love certain games because these games have brought back some memories. That game to me, like to remake that game and then add that secondary character so you can see how the story unfolds from her angle. I feel like they made a good decision. So I'm going to go with them. Game of the year.
Okay. Not a bad one. That was definitely a phenomenal game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can catch hell for that star. And I'm joking.
What?
No. Only reason I say that because there's people online that's like, oh, why is it's a remake? Why is it on there? It's not even like a real original type of title and all that.
Did it say original game title of the year?
Well, what I mean is, you know what I mean? It's based off a remake, so it's like,
yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? So that's the whole kind of argument. But anyway.
Yeah, I've seen those people complaining too, and I'm like, I mean, it's a new game, like it's a
At the end of the
remake,
day,
but it's
yeah.
Now, I'll tell you, if it was a remaster, I would probably agree with you and be like, yeah, nah, come on now, a remaster, but a remake, that's taking something and redoing it, man. Like, come
pretty
on,
much from the ground up. Yeah,
that's a new game, you know.
Yeah,
that's a new game.
but I would agree.
Game.
I mean, I see both sides, but I definitely agree more. I'm leaning more towards what we're saying because I mean, there's no getting past the amount of work and from the ground up levels that they've done with it. So yeah,
especially how old, you know. I mean, it wasn't super old, but it's showing his age. It's definitely showing his age.
That game came out with the GameCube. That game is old.
All right. Well. But of course, again, no surprise to anybody. Game of the year for me, it's got to be Baldur's Gate 3. What else can I say that I have not already said, or hundreds of other people have not already said? It's a masterpiece of a game. 10 out of 10. Please go play it. Just do yourself a favor. Even if you don't think you'll like turn-based games, give this one a shot. They did a phenomenal job, man. It's a masterpiece. 10 out of 10.
Hey, by the way, Larian Studios, if you're hearing this, man, I think you found your new spokesperson. If you ever need like a community manager or something like that, just remember that name, Kid Dream. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll gladly do it for him because it's, I mean, what they've done is just, it deserves to be awarded and appreciated because it's in a climate today where it's all about squeezing out as many dollars as they can from us to see a studio be so open against that and giving you so much value without anything extra, no season pass, no paid deal. Well, I won't say paid DLC because I'm a little more okay with that. But as of right now, they don't have anything really announced. But you know, no loot boxes, you know, no battle pass, none of this extra BS. It just gave you an outstanding game and called it a day. No, they didn't even call it a day because they're still putting out patches and fixes to make the game better.
They're still working hard on it. So you gotta give it due where you gotta give props where it's due. Yeah,
absolutely. And if I had to give my shocker, my surprise, it'll be Zelda. Not to say because it's not a good game, only because there's just so much competition. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. After it came out, because of everything else that's been out this year, I haven't heard people really talk about it, man. There was a lot of discourse when it came out because I think it came out at a pretty good time where a lot of other things weren't really out.
Right.
But ever since then, especially when newer games started coming out, bro, I don't hear nobody talk about it no more, man.
It did kind of get left in the dust a little bit. Yeah. As far as the conversation goes anyway.
Again, let me be clear. Not to say it's a bad game. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the discourse has, from my perspective, has disappeared.
Okay.
What about y'all? What are your surprises?
Yeah, Stars. What do you feel like, Star?
I might have to agree with Kid.
Oh wow, okay.
The only reason is the mechanics. They did change up the mechanics in the game. They added some new, I guess, abilities. There's other new things you can do. So when the game does feel like you're still playing a new experience with basically the same game engine. But I think we already know what this game is doing. So technically, if you want to do a game of the year, it has to do something that was different from the year before. So it's not doing anything that stands out differently. It's just more of the same, but of course the same was always great, so it doesn't take away from that. So that will be the surprise. It'll be a surprise.
Well,
all right.
Interesting.
BP.
So honestly, I was trying to choose between two. Resident Evil 4 and Super Mario Brothers Wonder. And I think ultimately I'm going to go for Wonder as a surprise. Even though it was really close because I was looking at Resident Evil 4 like that would be really shocking. But no, Wonder for sure would be shocked. And again, kind of like to kind of repeat what you were saying with the Legend of Zelda. Not that it's bad by any means. It's just, it's Mario. It's like, at the end of the day, when I look at it, for example, it's like, typical Mario game. I mean, I know it has innovative parts to it and great spots to it and everything, but, I just look at it and I can't shake that, whereas I look at these other titles and what they got going on and it's like, oh yeah, like I can all see them as contender. Whereas Wonder, I can see it as a contender, but as a, like, if nothing else was going on that year type of thing. So yeah, that's why I would go with that.
Nice. Okay.
All right. Well, that's the list, and that's our insights to our opinions. And I think we can ask our listeners if they want to participate. How are they able to do so?
I did put a poll. Actually, you know what? I might have been for our last episode. Yeah, I think it was last episode that I put a poll to see what they would choose for Game of the Year. I'll have to kind of go back and see how long I put that poll out there for. But
was it on YouTube or?
No, it was when I did it through. I think it was through Spotify platform. Okay. But I'm glad you said it because I do need to put it up for the YouTube. I actually forgot about doing that. But what I'll do is probably do it for this one shortly after it releases. It'll definitely be up there.
And if we want, we could plug our Discord here too and tell them to leave their suggestions in the Discord as a way.
Oh, that would be good too. That way, if you don't really rock with YouTube, you have Discord. So that's actually really good, kid. We'll have. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say we officially have our Discord page ready, our Discord server ready for our listeners to join in. Oh, look at that. The claps are back.
Hey, man, finally. I needed it because this has been a long time in the work. So,
so you'll be able, we'll definitely include the link to the server with the other social medias and everything like that. And you can hop into the Discord and you'll be able to communicate with us. We have a channel out there for new topic suggestions that you guys want us to kind of cover. So you could definitely throw in any suggestions you might have, as well as just a general chat to kind of hang out and talk. And you are more than welcome to, and please put, your predictions and what you think the nominee the winners are going to be for the Game Awards. We would love to hear what you guys think and see if you agree with us or think we're crazy and way off base, because we might be.
Yeah, that's very true. Very, very possible. So like Kid said, yeah, definitely want to hear from you all out there. And and just for anything, man, if you want to, and if you want to find yourself trolling Star, for example, and want him to troll you back, hey, we're open to that too, right, Star?
Yes. I mean, if you want to see my personality online, please feel free to just comment on Nintendo in a negative way.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you do right there. So that should be fun. So yeah, but it'll definitely be in the we'll have it in the show notes summary and everything like that. So like Kid said.
Nice. All right. Well, I think that about does it. I want to we appreciate y'all as always for listening to us ramble for a little bit, and we'll definitely be back for more to kind of go over the Game Awards to see how we did. Hopefully we got some of them right,
Yeah, I was hoping I'd get through it all. I mean, it's supposed to be like you said 3 hours or so. So that's
just a fair warning for anybody who maybe has not seen the Game Awards. It is December 7th at 7:30 Eastern is when it starts. But be warned, it is a very, very long show. Not only do they obviously give out the awards and everything like that, but they have a lot of world premiere trailers and announcements. They take away to kind of go over to really highlight some awards and what they mean to the community and everything like that. So it's a long, drawn out event. Definitely worth checking out. But for some people, it might be better to do after it's been live, because it won't probably end till almost midnight, more than likely. If it's based off future events, it's usually past 11 o'clock when we finally get to the actual Game of the Year nomination, which is obviously always the last one. And if we have people on the server, I'll definitely be watching it live, and I will be more than happy to give you some live commentary on announcements. If we have people join the server by then, I'll definitely be posting some some little tidbits here and there. Hopefully a lot of excitement because Baldergate is winning award after award.
Nice. That's actually a good point. I might do the Discord thing. That'll keep me more engaged than watching the awards all the way full like that.
So again, plug to join the Discord. Plug. Join the Discord.
Shamelessly, but well done, sir.
All right. Well, hey, I think that about does it.
Yep. Okay. Anything you got, Star? Are we good?
Now, I just want to give everybody just a little statement that stay safe out there. Love y'all, and we appreciate you.
Can you just appreciate how positive this man is at the end of the show, despite the troll stuff sometimes?
I have learned from Mr. Rogers, man. You grow up with these great icons. It sticks with you.
Nice.
Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't know if he ever destroyed anybody for talking about Nintendo, but I get it.
If he was to show that other side of himself, I bet you he probably had some other, side.
Yeah, he probably was a recluse. Yeah. He probably did have a violent side, sir. Congratulations. We just ruined people's childhood. That's cool. It's cool. Anyway, on that note, guess we are out of here.
Absolutely. All right, y'all.
Peace. Yep. All right. Later.
Let's get it.